So our plan is to have one of these on the first Wednesday of every month, just to go over what's going on with the Spaces protocol and what we have planned, and also if anybody has questions or anything or wants to discuss anything. So, yeah, the first Wednesday of every month. So this is our very first one. Yeah, I'll just start with just going over a few things that we have planned. So we've been working pretty hard on a few different things that are going to launch in the next week or so, which is first is we've been working on a marketplace so that people can buy and sell spaces trustlessly. And version 6 of Spaces that Buffer worked on and we just released last week allows you to do the buy and sell command from the using the command line interface. So if you have a Spaces, you could just type sell and then that space and the amount you want to sell it for. And then I think it returns a JSON object with like the partially signed Bitcoin transaction and stuff. And so the idea is with this marketplace, anyone can take that JSON object and just paste it into the marketplace, and it would create the listing on the marketplace. And that way it's for sale. And if anyone wants to buy it, they can do so trustlessly and anonymously, as anonymous as Bitcoin is. You can just use the buy command from the Spaces CLI and buy it. And there's nobody in between. It's trustless transaction. So the marketplace we plan to launch in hopefully next week or two. So, and then besides that, we're also working on a GUI wallet. We have it, working, but right now it relies on a Bitcoin full node and stuff. It's not ideal, so we want to make it just as easy as possible. So we're hoping to be able to add like light client support so that it would be really easy for somebody to just download the wallet software, open it up, and then start, fund it, and then start bidding on auctions and stuff like that. So that we're hoping in the next few weeks we'll be able to release the GUI wallet. And then another thing we've been working on is Fabric, which Buffer, do you want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, so Fabric essentially enable you to store records for Spaces off-chain validated by Bitcoin. So we plan to launch the Fabric version on mainnet probably the coming Monday, and you will be able to finally use Spaces to store records and resolve them. So this will enable lots of use cases, like maybe getting some like Nostr integrations and other stuff. So we hope to launch Fabric on Monday.
Cool. Yeah. And then, so we have, a bunch of things launching in the next week or two. And then after that, I think our main focus is going to be on subspaces, just getting that standardized and working, production ready and stuff. So like an production implementation for that. So and that we're not sure how long it'll take, but hopefully, in the next couple months or so, we'll have subspaces ready. So that's the plan for the near term. So I guess at this point, I can open it up if anybody has any questions. I guess raise your hand. I'm not like an expert on using spaces on Twitter. Like, so I'm not sure exactly how to allow people to ask questions and stuff, or what it is. But I think you can just like raise your hand or something, and then I can allow you to speak. So if anybody,
Yo.
hey, how's it going?
Hey. All right. So yeah, this sounds great, man. We really need the GUI wallet and the marketplace. So it's good that those two things are being worked on. Also, Fabric sounds great too. If it's it's going to give spaces utility where users can actually use their spaces names as Nostr usernames. Now, the last thing you talked about was the subspaces to be ready. So do we have to wait for that to be ready before we can use the Nostr usernames?
I think Fabric will allow you to use it on the top level. Like, so if you have a top level space, like, at Curious, you could use that as a Nostr username. So you could use @curious as a Nostr username, or you could set any data to it. But as far as the subspace level, that will have to wait until we get it all like production implementation for it, and then you'll still be able to use Fabric for it, but it uh, then you could use it on the subspace level.
Okay, and that leads me into my next question about the marketplace. I'm really excited about the marketplace. Uh, so I think you might have answered it. Will we be able to sell both spaces and subspaces at first, or only spaces?
At first, it will only be top level spaces, but yeah, we plan to allow. I mean, I would like to be able to have also subspaces on there, but Buffer, do you have? I'm not. I know you could do it in the same way, but there might be another way to do it. What do you have thoughts on that, Buffer?
Yeah, so subspaces will be like a soft fork in the next few months. And yes, you should be able to do like listings for subspaces on the marketplace as well once it's activated on mainnet.
Okay,
And
yeah,
will those
that's
uh,
really exciting.
will how will it, would the subspace transactions also be, would they be settled on chain, or how would it?
Yeah, I mean, if you claim your subspace on chain, you would be able to do the same kind of listing. But I mean, we should have a way to enable like off-chain buying and selling for subspaces. And I guess we'll see how that goes once we like get to like build the full version for subspaces in the next few months.
Okay, cool.
And also on just some marketing or just getting the word out. I've just been trying to go all over social media, posting, Twitter, YouTube, Nostr, making videos. But not a lot of people even know about spaces. I think it's a huge opportunity. It seems really good. And my question is, do you have any plans to get the word out even more, or is anything that you would like to see people do? Just anything, because every time I ask people, they're just really nobody knows about it. So it is an opportunity for us, but I would like to share it with more people.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for making those YouTube videos and stuff like that. I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, it is. It's the very beginning, and it is. I think it's one of those things that takes some time, to build a community and stuff. And I think as we, develop more of this stuff like Fabric, and so when we're doing Fabric, it'll allow us to do use cases, which will I hopefully lead to like marketing and more people seeing it. So like once you can be able to use it for like a Nostr username or something like that, or to send like Bitcoin to an at curious or whatever, I think those use cases will be examples of like, hopefully that'll help to build, growth in the community and stuff. And then also, I know for a fact there are people who want to bid on auctions and want to get involved, but they do not want to download and install the software and like do the command line and run a full node and stuff like that. So I think having this GUI wallet will really help with that. And then, the subspaces and the marketplace. So yeah, I mean, it definitely is something, we want to try to get the word out and get adoption and people using it and knowing about it and stuff like that. But I think it's just, I think it's something that just takes time. And also we're just kind of right now really focused on building it the right way and making it as good as we can and as useful as possible. And, but yeah, thanks for your help. And I agree. That's something that would be great to focus on.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you and Buffer and everyone else involved working on this because I agree. I think it is something that's really important. Important. The naming has to be on Bitcoin. So I'm excited about it. And I'm just offering my assistance, doing what I could do. So this is how I can help.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. Does anybody else want to speak or have any questions or anything?
I'll go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, it's Andrew. Quick question on the marketplace. Can you talk a little bit about how that would potentially serve the need or the ability, I should say, of creating and distributing subspaces versus being an operator? Kind of what does that mean, like in terms of taking on, I guess, that distribution or that set of creation under the main level space? And then I got a follow up for you.
You mean what role does the marketplace have in that? Or
well, yeah, versus. So I think a lot of folks probably are looking at this like, okay, maybe I've captured some top level names and that will be valuable for resale. That's kind of the squatting kind of model, right? And then I think there's going to be people that's like, hey, I think this is a cool name. I want to build a community, but I need to be able to create a bunch of subspaces in order to sort of, build out and award my members with, an identity that is part of that community. And then I think, and maybe the next level is to basically take that top level name and function as an operator where you build your own, I would expect, build your own sort of system to manage the kind of creation and handling of subspaces under that top level name, which doesn't exist yet, as I understand it, but it's been mentioned in the papers, in the white paper, I believe it was mentioned what an operator might be.
yeah. So yeah, the marketplace will at first will just be for top level, like people being able to buy and sell spaces on there trustlessly. Eventually, yeah, it would be to the subspace level where you, like if you had like, I don't know, Andrew at Bitcoin or whatever, you could sell it on there if you wanted, or you could buy it on there from somebody else. But yeah, in terms of like selling subspaces and being an operator, is something that we're going to be really focusing on the next couple months. And Buffer created that proof of concepts, the subspacer. It's in our GitHub repo. But I don't know, Buffer, do you want to talk more about it or?
Yeah, so like we will like build some infrastructure for like space owners to like become operators. So if you want to sell subspaces, at some point you should be able to like very easily and we're gonna build like the software for that, like as soon as like we start getting to work on subspaces.
Okay. Cool. My follow-on was around the fabric, and I know I've reached out to you, Buffer. We still have to connect, but can you talk about how the DHT network supports the fabric mechanism and provides basically a storage network such that these signed domain files can be broadly distributed?
So yeah, so anyone can like join the fabric. Anyone can join like the fabric network, and they essentially enable other people to publish their zone files. And the way the fabric network makes sure that you are the true owner of that space or subspace is by using like Bitcoin as the trust anchor. Um, so you essentially create a zone file, you put your records in it, and then you sign it and publish it onto the network. And other nodes you could pay other nodes to like uh, keep your zone file alive, or you could run your own node and make sure it's always there. So like even the incentive model uh, is like very nice. It's all trustless. It's all signed with your own keys. And if you want to if you don't want to run your own node, you could pay someone else to keep your zone file alive.
Got it. And then appreciate that. And lastly, you mentioned Nostr integration. Does there exist a way now to convert the keys? I guess it would be the private key of the wallet that controls the space into an NPub NSEC pair?
I
Or
mean,
is it already that format? Or it seems unclear how you might expose that, or if it's just something that would be looked up through the fabric mechanism
I mean,
resolution.
we don't have a standard for that yet. Technically, you don't even need Fabric. Uh, like the simplest way to build a Nostr integration with Spaces is that you sign your npub using your Spaces key, and that proves that you are the owner of that space. And if a Nostr app supports Spaces, it could easily verify that proof and show your identity as that space. And that would be the simplest way to integrate. But we'll probably like discuss that more deeply, and um, as we start getting like as we start building integrations, and we'll probably like define a more formal standard for how would that look like.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Well, obviously be interested to help with that. So yeah, let's touch base. So I'll let someone else jump in. Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay. I guess that's all for this month then. So yeah, we'll plan to have another one the beginning of March, and otherwise, yeah, feel free to join the Telegram and ask any questions there. And otherwise, thanks everyone for joining and listening, and talk to you next month.
Thanks, guys. See you.